Hi guys, welcome back to the Miss B channel where we talk all things lifestyle, relationship, and most importantly, mental health. So it's been like a really long time since I recorded a video, and I decided to come in today and check in also because I've had the time to do so, and my friend Sandra, which you will hear later about, was like, when is your next video coming out? So bear with me, you guys. I have a lot of things going on, yet I do want to connect and I do want to communicate with my loved ones. So today, one of the topics that's been weighing heavy on my heart, which I think is important for us as a people to talk about, is support, right? So what does support look like? I think sometimes we get into the habit of thinking support is always financial or support is always in person. So today I'm just going to be talking about the many ways that I've learned to support people. The first way is, of course, prayer, right? I think a praying friend is like one of the most precious thing that you can have in this world. Is a friend that takes their time and give their energy to stand as an intercessor for you with the Lord. Like that is amazing. So I think number one, of course, prayer. Number two, communication and understanding. Sometimes we want support, but we don't know how to communicate, and neither does our friends or those who are around us to support us, right? So number one is prayer. Number two is communication. Say what you want, state what you want, and how you would like to be supported, and how that's also how you can show up for other people. Number three, in person. Presence prevents. Like, sometimes I used to say, when it comes to like being that I'm a young mom, I think sometimes a lot of the things that I experience, if I had the presence of a mentor, a presence of a spiritual mentor, or just encounter, it would have prevented certain things, right? So your presence is important. Sometimes you can't give financially, right? But you can be there. You can walk them somewhere. You can just sit and listen. So your presence is truly important. And number four, of course, financially. Like, if you can't be there in person, but you have excess or you can find a way to contribute financially, then do so. I posted recently on my social media, Facebook and Instagram. I said, back in the days, I've always been a worker, and currently right now I'm working 2 jobs and running my business. And I always did that so that I could be able to provide for others, and sometimes forgetting myself and the goal or my family, right? So I've always been able to be like, oh, I'd rather somebody come to me than go to a mail to ask them, etc. But how I see it now is, sometimes you can sit down with the person and show them like, hey, you can access this money with your gift, your skills, your talent. You can first exalt all the other resources, because sometimes we treat people to always come to us versus learning the various ways, right? So finance is important in supporting, but show them or teach them how they can generate that finances if you're not there also. So, let's just recap on that, right? Number one, you want to support with prayer. Number two, you want to support by communication. And communication is very important in stating how we want to be loved, accepted, as well as acknowledged and supported, right? Without communication, any of the things that I'm saying can't really take place, right? So communicate in the way where people really, I'm staying on the communication piece, because communication and being honest and authentic about where you are is how people learn to pray for you, right? And people learn to intercede for you. So even though number one is prayer, really communication needs to happen so the person can pray, your friends can pray, your family can pray, etc. And also so that you're clear with where you are and who you're trying to become, or who you're choosing to become, right? So it's very important that we talk about these things, right? So one, prayer, two, communication, And just to enlighten the communication piece a little bit more, is people don't read minds, right? People don't read minds. And when you're feeling heavy and unsupported, have you communicated that? You know, this is a big mental health piece for me. And sometimes even myself, a little just transparency about myself, I can have a whole trial about myself in my brain. I mean, I will be the judge, I will be the jury, I will be the people in the pulpits, I will be everything about myself in my brain. My best friend does a good job in coming, and because we've had an honest and, you know, open conversation, and coming back and letting me know, like, okay, so you convicted yourself of this, however you forgot this reasonable doubt that you also did this, that, and the third, right? So I'm really like stretching out this communication piece because it's very, very, very important, you know. And then of course, number 3, presence. Like, there's nothing like being able to sit in silence with someone and be yourself and not feel judged and not have anything to say, but still be understood that you need presence right now. I think 1, 2, and 3 are so important. And then of course, number 4, finance. Like, if you cannot be there, I think you should pray before you even support financially. But if you cannot be there, and if you cannot support in any way, shape, or form, presence, like with your presence, then yes, I think you should highly contribute financially. And of course, each situation is different. There's no two situations that are the same. And you are the only one who gets to determine how you can show up for someone by communicating that, right? So, hey, I can't show up for you today, but let me send you some money. Or, hey, I don't have any money, but I'm willing to come and help you clean. I'm willing to help you do this, that, and the third. Hey, I cannot do any of these other 3, but I'm praying for you, you know? So I just wanted to do a video today about support, because this is like one of the conversations I have with people who it's heavy on them. They feel like, hey, I showed up for somebody and they didn't show up for me the same way. And it's like, you can't judge how someone can show up for you. I know for me personally, for years, I could show up financially, but I wouldn't show up with my presence. And then sometimes the tables flipped, where it's like I showed up in my presence, but I'm not showing up financially. And that's also because things that were going on in my personal life. You know, I'm a mother. There's so many things that I'm entangled in. So it's like, no, I got to save my money for this, but I can be here for you. And I learned sometimes one of the biggest things too is, if you feel wholeheartedly that you showed up for someone, don't feel obligated to explain more or just like in judgment of how you're showing up. Do the best that you can for people and treat people not how always you want to be treated, but how they want to be treated, which is why communication is so important. So that's just my rant for today with the Miss B channel. I look forward to coming back and sharing some more with you. Let me know how you feel about this video, and if you have questions about support, about various ways to support one another, please leave a comment, ask a question. You can email me at positivityisachoice@missb.org. My Facebook is Miss B, and my Instagram is Miss B Life Coaching. So please hit the button and subscribe, and I look forward to connecting with you guys again.